Preeti Choudhry. We come to you from Dausa in pole-bound Rajasthan and the neighbouring Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. The curtains down on campaigning. The drums have stopped beating, but the dying hours of campaigning led to a vicious personal attack on either sides of the divide, be it the Bharatiya Janata Party or the Congress.
अरे मूर्खों के सरदार, किस दुनिया में रहते हैं ये लोग?
That was Prime Minister Narendra Modi mocking Rahul Gandhi. At an election rally in Betul, Madhya Pradesh on Tuesday, Modi lashed out at the Congress MP over his claim on the dominance of made in China mobile phones in India.
एक महाज्ञानी कांग्रेस के कह रहे थे कि आप सबके पास मेड इन चाइना मोबाइल फोन होता है। अरे मूर्खों के सरदार, किस दुनिया में रहते हैं ये लोग? कांग्रेस के नेताओं को अपने देश की उपलब्धियां न देखने की मानसिक बीमारी हो गई है।
On the last day of campaign in Chhattisgarh's Baloda Bazaar, Rahul Gandhi reacted to the Prime Minister's jibe.
नरेंद्र मोदी जी आते हैं, जहां भी जाते हैं मेरे बारे में गलत शब्द प्रयोग करते हैं, गाली देते हैं, मुझे उल्टी सीधी बात करते हैं। अच्छा है, मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता।
Modi's Murkho ke Sardar jibe at Rahul sparked angry reactions from the Congress, while the BJP backed the Prime Minister.
चुनाव की पहले ही प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी चुनाव की नतीजा आजमा ले चुके हैं, इसलिए बौखलाए हुए देश की प्रधानमंत्री जी की जुबान से भद्दे भाषा निकलने लगी।
पूरा भारत का लोग जानते हो क्या है। आपने उनका संसद में देखा होगा कैसे प्रधानमंत्री जी का तरफ सलाह जाते थे, कैसे वो कोई मोहब्बत का दुकान और मोहब्बत एक साथ हो सकता है क्या? और अपने आप को एक एंग्री यंग मैन का तरफ वो दिखवाना चाहते हैं। तो इसीलिए मेरा लगता है कि प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जो बात बोला है वो तो भारत वर्ष का हर लोग जानते हैं, सबका मन में वही है।
The Congress returned fire, calling Prime Minister Narendra Modi झूठों का सरदार।
देखिए, कुछ लोग ऐसे होते हैं जिनको पढ़ने लिखने की आदत नहीं, जिनको जो कागज दे दिया जाए वो जाके पढ़ देते हैं। भाई बहन आजकल यही करते हैं। राहुल जी तो बिल्कुल अनाप शनाप झूठी बयानबाजी करते हैं जिसका सच्चाई से कोई लेना देना नहीं। अब जो काम ऐसे करेगा वो क्या कहा जाएगा?
Coming from the झूठों का सरदार, it shows the arrogance of Mr. Modi, and Mr. Modi always wants to divert from the real issues and goes personal against the political leadership.
The personal attacks have come at the fag end of a long campaign. Madhya Pradesh is voting on Friday to elect a new government. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, it's getting personal, and not just with Moorkhon ka Sardar versus Jhooton ka Sardar. Priyanka Gandhi also took a direct jab at none else but Jyotiraditya Scindia. Listen in.
क्या है कि कद में थोड़े छोटे पड़ गए, लेकिन अहंकार में तो भाई वाह भाई वाह। भैया उनके पास जो भी कार्यकर्ता जाता था कहते दीदी की हम क्या करें, महाराज महाराज कहना पड़ता है, हमारे मुंह से नहीं निकलता तो फिर कुछ काम ही नहीं होता हमारा। वैसे उन्होंने अपने परिवार की परंपरा अच्छे से निभाई है। विश्वासघात तो बहुतों ने किया है, लेकिन इन्होंने ग्वालियर और चंबा की जनता के साथ विश्वासघात किया है। आपके पीठ में छुरा भोंका है, बनी बनाई सरकार को गिरा दिया, और वो बनी बनाई सरकार आपकी थी, आपने वोट दिया था उसके लिए।
राजनीति में एक स्तर होना चाहिए। राजनीति में शब्दों का उपयोग, व्यक्तिगत आरोप, इन सब से हम लोगों को बचना चाहिए।
Quickly, let's cut across to our two reporters on ground. Hemendra Sharma joining us from Madhya Pradesh, where campaigning has ended, and picking up in the state of Rajasthan, Dev Ankur Wadhawan. Hemendra, interesting choice of words. For the first time, we've seen it get downright personal, be it the Jhuton ka Sardar versus the Moorkhon ka Sardar, or Priyanka Gandhi's personal attack on Scindia.
Well, yes, as you said, the acrimony has now stopped because campaigning has stopped. Now, door-to-door campaign is going on, and on the 17th, Madhya Pradesh goes to the polls in one phase. All 230 seats goes to the poll on the same day. But if we think about and talk about the campaign that was run by these two political parties, in fact, the Congress party focused on the fact that their government was stolen. In fact, they claimed all throughout their campaign that in 2018, it was the people of Madhya Pradesh who voted the Congress party to power. They brought the BJP government down and voted the Congress to power, where this government in March 2020 was stolen with the help of Choudhry, a fact that was emphasized upon by Priyanka Gandhi during the last phase of this campaign. In between, Prime Minister Modi called Rahul Gandhi Jhuton ka Sardar, Moorkhon ka Sardar, which was reacted by the BJP, by the Congress party, calling the Prime Minister the Jhuton ka Sardar. So a very vicious campaign that happened, but the last 2-3 days were dominated by this video that came. This is regarding Narendra Tomar, the Union Agriculture Minister, and his son Devendra Tomar, also called Ramu Tomar, in which various sorts of allegations were made. First 2 installments of the video, only money transfer was talked about, but in the final installment of the video that came at the very end of this campaign, a man from Canada claimed that it is a scam worth 10,000 crore rupees. Mining money was shifted, and the money was being routed through religious places of worship also. So overall, the BJP cornered in the final phase, but the BJP, as you know, with its strength, going to town, alleging various sorts of things against the Congress as well.
All right, well, the campaigning has died down or come to an end, curtains down on electioneering in Madhya Pradesh, but picking up in Rajasthan there. And for the first time, the kind of language we are beginning to see in Rajasthan is all gloves off. It's getting personal even in the state of Rajasthan.
Extremely vicious, Preeti, and downright personal. It is quite apparent that the BJP, which is the principal opposition party in Rajasthan, wants to rely on rhetoric rather than real issues. The real issues include that of paper leak, include that of unemployment, of berozgari, of the lack of civic amenities, of the farmers allegedly not getting the farm loan waiver that was promised to them in 2018. All of them are real issues, Preeti, and all of them could have been used by the BJP constructively to gherao or to put the Gehlot government in the dock. But rather than doing that, it is relying on rhetoric. How much of that can pay political dividends is something only time can tell, if any it will. But for the time being, it seems that from using terms like Pappu or Feku, the political rhetoric has progressed onto terms such as, or phrases such as Jhuton ka Sardar and Moorkhon ka Sardar. So clearly that is where, how the depths that the politics have plummeted to. It all remains to be seen what kind of results come up in Rajasthan assembly polls. But for the time being, it is quite apparent that the Rajasthan Congress government has several issues which can be taken up against it. But the BJP perhaps is more focused on trying to, showcase the Rajasthan, showcase the senior politicians of the Congress in a certain light, so as to ensure that people, come back to the BJP in Rajasthan. Whether people actually do that or not is something which 3rd of December can tell all of us. But for the time being, it seems that on the ground, the BJP feels that it is in a close fight with the Congress, and it can rely on these kind of rhetorical statements to try to put senior leadership of the Congress in the dock. Preeti?
Well, it's interesting. Well, it is interesting. Who has the edge in Rajasthan? Well, history would give an edge to the BJP. Rajasthan has been a swing state, now under the Congress. So where history stands testimony, it could swing back to the Bharatiya Janata Party. But appreciate both Hemendra as well as Dev for joining us. Things are only going to heat up, at least where campaigning is concerned in the state of Rajasthan. Bringing in our two political guests, Rohan Gupta from the Congress, Tuhin Sinha from the Bharatiya Janata Party. Tuhin Sinha, language is moorkhon ka sardar. Would you reckon it befits coming in from the Prime Minister? And usually we haven't seen the Prime Minister directly target the Gandhis in terms of attacking them. It's always been veiled. This time it seems to be gloves off, which the Congress is interpreting as cold feet.
Good evening, Preeti. Good evening, everybody. But like you mentioned, you normally haven't seen the Prime Minister. The fact is, the unnatural obsession of Rahul Gandhi with China and his incorrigible ignorance is something which can anguish anybody who, wishes well for the country. What did Rahul Gandhi say yesterday or day before? That, India still has to depend on China for its phone production. Today, if you look at data, 98% of the phones sold in the country today are assembled. I'm using the word assembled because with the semiconductor push, which is currently underway, in the years to come, probably that will be the number of entirely indigenously manufactured phone. And this is not the first time when he has shown this unnatural, obsession with China. On the day when India was stripping the historic India, Middle East, European corridor, what was Rahul Gandhi doing? He was in Brussels endorsing the BRI, China's Belt and Road Initiative, which impinges upon our sovereignty. So I think, it hurts any well-meaning Indian who wishes well for the country to see somebody with this sort of self-deprecating, self-flagellating attitude always run down the country. So I think the Prime Minister was rather kind in his words, because with the kind of jibes he has received from the Congress party, right from Maut Ka Saudagar to Neech Aadmi to, Ravan, I think he was very kind in his comments.
Well, Tuhin Sinha, the Prime Minister, with all the comments that you spoke of, and the BJP has given it back in equal measure, if not more. There's been enough coming in from the other side as well. But I want to bring in Rohan Gupta into this conversation. Rohan Gupta, you might take offense to being your leader being labeled as moorkhon ka sardar. Many might say, language that could have been avoided. But what went down in Madhya Pradesh with Priyanka Gandhi attacking Mr. Scindia? Now, one can understand that you're cut up, that he stole your government, or in terms of made your government fall in 2020. But to get personal, make jibes on his height, where you say, ke kad mein chote reh gaye, it's uncalled for.
See, Preeti, first of all, one of your reporter made a very significant comment that even if in Rajasthan, BJP is in opposition, they have to resort to rhetorics rather than the core issues. It speaks for itself that they have given up. For them, there are no real issues in the states. And that is what Mr. Modi is following up. When Mr. Modi uses these words, it's very clear that they are given up. They are frustrated with the feedback they are getting from 5 states. And that's why you are seeing that from Prime Minister, you are getting these kind of words from his mouth. It clearly speaks that BJP has given up and they have no real issues. And I completely agree, Preeti, in terms of making any individual comment, nobody should do that. But you look at Madhya Pradesh, the way she was referring to his arrogance. Whenever the worker goes to them with that person, with arrogance, he has always replied and never done work of anybody. And he has stolen our government. So I think when it comes from the mouth of Prime Minister, and you have seen many elections, Preeti, where Prime Minister has made this an issue, that these are the comments made against me, so it is against India. But today, when Mr. Prime Minister starts this game, I think it's crystal clear that they are losing in all 5 states. And even in opposition, wherever they are in opposition, they have no real issues to speak on. They have only rhetorics to counter.
But, Rohan Gupta, I'm going to bring in Tuhin Sinha, but I'll ask you that question again. The political waters might have been muddied with language coming in from both sides. You might say that this is uncalled for, where Prime Minister is calling Rahul Gandhi moorkhon ka sardar. You say it's fine when Priyanka Gandhi uses language where, of course, not just of Jyotiraditya Scindia being referred to as Maharaj, but more so with his height. To make fun on a public platform of somebody's height or physical appearance is not done.
She was definitely referring to his acts. She was referring to what he did to the people of Madhya Pradesh. People of Madhya Pradesh trust has been bettered by that gentleman. And again, I say, Preeti, this issue of using bad language, galis and all, this is raised by BJP all the time. Now, when they are starting this, they cannot complain then. If you are in opposition, you are the prime minister, one of the biggest leaders in the country. If he starts the game, then you don't complain. Either it is a game, in elections you can use that, then you don't come back and complain that, okay, this happened to me, please vote for India, this is against India. Don't do that. Don't show that tamasa. When you are getting into game, then you should be ready for the reply from the opposition, and don't complain after that.
All right, okay, fair enough. Tuhin Sinha, direct charge. If you have muddied the waters, if you are playing dirty, and if your counterpart does the same, then why complain? And when it comes down to the BJP, Tuhin Sinha, it just doesn't end possibly at the Congress. You know, you had the likes, I remember, 3 weeks ago in a rally in Datia, where Narottam Mishra actually spoke of your own leader, saying, "Humne yahan par Datia mein Hema Malini ko nachwa diya."
Well, I can understand Priyanka Vadra Gandhi taking such exaggerated pride in her height and ridiculing Jyotiraditya Scindia because, at the end of the day, she can't take pride in her intelligence. In just the last 3 or 4 days, we have seen the Gandhi dynasty struggling with the full form of MSP. We have seen them struggling on whether GST is included, petrol and diesel are included within the GST or not. So such is the level of ignorance. Such ignorance is, in fact, the hallmark of this Congress party, which is why the Prime Minister made that comment. I can give you umpteen other examples. Rahul Gandhi has been chided by the Supreme Court for falsely attributing a certain comment to Supreme Court in the Rafale case. He has been demonizing Savarkar without knowing anything about Savarkar's contribution to the country. So I think, hallmark is the ignorance of this Congress party. We should all grow above personal comments. But when, you reveal your ignorance, and more so when you undermine the achievements of this country, please understand, Rahul Gandhi mentioned about mobile phones. I can give you umpteen other examples of defense exports today in the last 9 years have gone up by nine times. Today...
I'll give you another example. Right.
Railway wagons, we are the hub of railway wagons manufacturing across the globe. HAL, which he demonized in 2019, before 2019, has the largest defense export order across the world. So I think, the self-flagellating, self-deprecating attitude of the Gandhi speaks very low of the confidence that Congress has in itself and in the country, which is what upsets us.
Okay.
Preeti, one comment I want to make.
Okay, Tuhin Sinha, I'll come back with a question. You talk about dynasts like Gandhi. I'll come to you. Give me a minute, Mr. Gupta. You talk about dynasts like Mr. Gandhi. Who's Mr. Scindia? He's a dynast himself, right? Number one. Number two, you haven't even mentioned on what happened in the campaign trail where Narottam Mishra, the Home Minister, has called your own party MP ke humne inko datia mein nachwa diya, which is Hema Malini. On the other hand, you've had the top leadership of your party go on stage and refer to a doctored clip of Rahul Gandhi where he's referred to as ke humne aalu se sona bana diya. Now this happened from your top leadership.
When it comes to the comments of Dr. Narottam Mishra, I haven't heard them, but if he has said that, we don't endorse that comment. Ideally, like I mentioned, everybody should be restrained in his comments. Do
you endorse?
But since you make
referring to a doctored clip?
No, there are so many other clips of Rahul Gandhi. We forget ignorance. He has been rather mischievous. He goes abroad in London and he picks up a sick gentleman and says even Sikhs are not safe in the country. Do you endorse that mischief of Rahul Gandhi? I can give you umpteen other examples. On 5th August 2019, we abrogated Article 370. On 24th August, he made a statement after a CWC meeting.
Rohan Gupta,
there is bloodshed in Kashmir.
Rohan Gupta, the same thing that you have accused the BJP of. It cuts both ways, Rohan Gupta. If you're willing to get into dirty waters, if your opponent then does the same, too bad.
See, we will never start, Preeti. This game is not started by us. It is started by Prime Minister Mr. Modi. And BJP spokesperson is feeling proud in that. So I don't believe in personal comments at any point of time in politics. But when you are election mode, you cannot complain because you are doing the same. One more thing, BJP spokesperson talk about the mobile production. Let me tell you, my friend, you should understand the meaning of value addition. When you assemble something and when you manufacture the key parts, there is a difference. You are not a technically manufacturer, you are assembler. When you manufacture the semiconductor, when you manufacture the chip, when you manufacture the body, when you manufacture the screen, and
right.
then you mention that is called the made in India. So this is the basic difference
Okay.
between understanding
you
of you
look
and
at the
Congress Party.
corresponding
You
figures
like
of
your leader.
assembled
You like
votes
your
vis-a-vis
leader.
All right,
the
okay,
You don't
gentlemen, I need
understand
to,
meaning of assembly and manufacturing.
I've come to the
This is
end.
the
I've
basic
come to the
problem
end
with
of
you.
the show. I apologize. I'm going to come in. But I'm sure the debate is going to carry forth in days to come. Appreciate both of you for joining us and continue to stay tuned for all the latest, all the ground reports on India Today, right here.